Hello, everyone. Just want to pop in for a few. If anyone's going to be out there, great. I just want to chat with you guys, see what's going on out there, and I want to talk a little about what's going on here. Um, Let me see if that even pops up. It doesn't, does it? It does not pop up, does it? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to try something here. This is very, very strange, but it's been happening of late, and I don't know what it is. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I don't know what the hell this is. Very, very strange. Anyway, if you're out there, just chime in. Let's go back and forth on some stuff. If you're interested, I just had a little time later than usual. It's almost midnight. I do want to show off some art, but it doesn't seem to be popping up on my screen for some reason. I don't understand that. Let me try to get this out first and then see what happens there. If I get this out, it doesn't pop up, does it? Okay, it does. Good. Whew. Finally. What the hell is going on here? This is an artist named Robert Fawcett, one of the artists that Alex Toth named in his like top 10. An illustrator, magazines, book covers, and so on. Very, very good, very representational, as you can see. He goes through his process here. Look at his light and shadow is fantastic. The drapery, the wrinkles is really, really good. That's a very strong piece right there. Get the big hands on that guy. He clearly used models, but made the most of it, as you can tell, even in this image right here. And again, these were all hand-drawn, guys. There was no Photoshop back then, and no AI either. As we keep talking about with some of these guys like Shad. Shad. I guess the only way I can show that is interesting is if I get off of there. Huh. Yeah, this is just, I can't stand these rats. You got this guy, Ian Carroll. He's the latest piece of shit, Hitler butt boy, out there dirtying the waters on the right. He's a leftist, like all they are, like they all are, from Candace to him to Tucker. I know they present themselves to be on the right. They're anti-capitalist. They're clearly anti-Jew, and in a lot of ways, they're anti everything that's happening. That's good. They want to derail it. That's really what they want to do. You have Tucker Carlson now being a butt boy for the Islamic world, going to Muslim countries left and right, going there and doing talks, not criticizing Islam at all, not criticizing the dictatorships that he goes to. You got this piece of shit, Ian Carroll, who's was an unknown. All of a sudden, he's on the stage in a big way. I'd never trust that ever. You know, you make your bones by step, telling the truth over. And if you arrive overnight, you're a liar with an agenda to fuck shit up. That's the nihilists' way, whether they're perceived as being on the right, but they're usually on the left. And this guy, this I don't know who he is, but some idiot here says, "Well, I agree with him. I like his work 80/20." It's like, guys, it's like I like Tony Soprano. Yeah, he murders, but I like him, as a character. Apart from it, watching from a distance on a show, it's great. Personally, if he was a living, breathing human being, what we're supposed to pretend that that's okay? No, absolutely not. It's retarded. But yeah, guys, I want to know how you're doing, and I want to talk about a number of these things that have been bothering me, basically bothering me about what's going on here, and And these people, they got a lot too much oxygen in this. What's this guy saying here? Yeah, so this guy Ian Carroll and that whore, that Islam whore, um, Candace Owens, are out there saying that the Jews have compromised RFK. No proof whatsoever, just throwing it out there again to derail what's happening with Trump and the movement and Maha and all that. That's the only purpose of it, because it's a lie, first of all, and then you got idiots here trying to say, well, I agree with the guy most of the time. No, it's like this. It's not a disagreement to say that someone sides with Hamas. Well, I disagree that he sides with Hamas, but overall, he's a good fellow. No, he's a piece of shit because he sides with Hamas. That destroys whatever perceived credibility anyone ever had, ever. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little about this and about what's happening here, because it's really annoying, and it's dangerous talk, because again, this kind of talk, trashing Jews constantly, as if it's their only purpose, from Candace Owens to Tucker Carlson thinks he's being clever because he's doing everything except explicitly saying what Candace Owens, because she's I guess less shrewd than Tucker Carlson, because she's stupid. He's dumb, but he's not as dumb. Let's just say that. Whereas he'll go to Islamic dictatorships and do speeches and blow Islam and all that, and while he's talking about America first, while he goes and trashes America in the homeland of Islam, Saudi Arabia, doing speeches there, and also interviewing these sheikhs and telling us that these are the greatest leader in the world I've ever known. That's a complete lie. It's just stupid. He goes to Moscow and says this is better than any city in America. That's a complete lie. Even those in Moscow are like, what? What's the guy talking about? So yeah, I just wanted to touch on this a little. I said, in a world where Muslims murder hundreds of innocent human beings every single week, including children, you can tell the biggest pussies on here by how much they ignore Islam and Muslims, and how much they rag on about Jews. Whatever else they are, Jew haters are gutless turds. And that's really what it comes down to, because again, you live in a world that we live in. We all live in the same world. And we know the real threats, from Islamist true believers to communism. We know that those are the real major threats. And then you have others who want to shoehorn themselves onto the right by saying, I'm sorry, 1 second, guys. I just got something. Okay. They shoehorn themselves on the right to fuck up the right, to fuck shit up. These are nihilists, in order to try to make the claim that the biggest threat to us are Jews. It's a complete lie. It's stupid. It's retarded. There's one Jewish country. It doesn't start wars. It sure as hell ends them if they're attacked. There are 57 different Islamic hellholes who want to wipe out the one Jewish country, and of course the entire West. They're out here to Islamize the West. Even Texas, they're pulling their shit. And then I post something here. It's my weekly update on the carnage every single week that Muslims commit. 203 people were murdered last week by Muslims across the world. And those who bitch and moan about Jews on here have nothing to say about it, because they can't blame Jews for it. It's as simple as that. I mean, they're like, shit, these are Muslims, and they should hate Muslims, they should, those on the right. They should hate those who murdered thousands upon thousands of Americans. They should, but they don't. And if you can skip over the 203 innocent human beings, were slaughtered by Muslims in order to try to tell us about Jews, you're just a piece of shit liar and a pussy. So here's my cartoon of Ian Carroll, that piece of shit. And here's what I wrote. I said, I was taught to hate Jews because being, I was taught to hate Jews being raised Muslim. What the fuck is your excuse? Retards on here think that this piece of shit, Ian Carroll, has a point. Notice that Hitler bitches like him, Nick Fuentes, etc., wear mustaches longer than they want to. Cut them down to size rats. I always draw these guys with a Hitler mustache because it's like, guys, you got these long mustaches. Why? Your hero is Hitler. Come on, live up to it, or live down to it. Back it up. And then a few other things, because again, the Hitler butt boys were out in full force on my comments, on my threads, on X in particular. And again, they're here to fuck shit up. They're here to derail, to undermine. That's what they're here for. They're not here for anything good. They're not here to tell the truth, that's for sure. They're lying rats. And one thing you know about these Jew haters in particular is that they are lying rats. They have to make up complete obscene lies about Israel and Jews in order to try to sell the idea that they are our greatest threat. That's a lie. You know, communism, Islam are our greatest threats, and we have to recognize that. Hey, nostalgic. Everyone that disagrees with you is a Nazi. That's what you're an idiot. Nostalgic. That's not the case, you dumb fuck. Absolute idiot. Disagree with me, you dumb fuck. It's not about disagreement. It's about having a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on in the world. That's what it is. And you know, Jew-hating fucks are just like that. I know, you know, there's also the rats on the right who want to entertain these scumbags in very subtle, you know, they think they're being subtle, but they're not. In very subtle ways, they want to entertain them. Like, well, you know, they have a little point here and there. No, they were pieces of shit. And they got to be condemned and they got to be kicked out. Yeah, sure. That's what every Jew hater says, you dumb fuck. That's what every single Jew hater says. From Ian Carroll to Nick Fuentes to Candace Owens to Tucker Carlson, they all say it. I don't hate Jews. I just hate Zionists and those who, you know, absolute imbecile. Absolute imbecile. Yeah, and it's not about disagreement, you idiot. It's not about disagreement. People always disagree with me about things. You say is a Nazi, you dumb fuck. You're talking like the left. That's what the left does. Anyone who disagrees with them, they call Nazis. You idiot. And the left are Nazis in the sense where they're the ones who actually are the oh God. Oh my God. Nostalgic. As I always tell everyone who tries to brag about their IQ, I would never, ever, ever brag about my IQ if it was as low as 140. Ever. Ever. You imbecile. My God. So again, we have to rid the right of these scumbags. Let them go to the left because that's their natural home. They will end up there anyway. A number of them. We know that. Richard Spencer, remember him? He was the older Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is the new version that the media has tried to push onto the right. He has tried to push himself onto the right as well. He, guys, if you recall, he voted for Biden. He hates Trump. Ultimately, he went to the left. And what happened to him? He disappeared. The media couldn't use him as a bludgeon against the right anymore. They're like, ah, shit. Okay, we got a new guy. Ian Carroll. And the dummy, the really stupid guy, the brain-rattled, the drug-rattled, drug-addled Joe Rogan, has him on a show. Doesn't question where he came from, nothing. Just has him on a show. He spews his bullshit. And now supposedly this guy is even backtracking on some of the claims that he made yesterday, which is good because it shows you that he has no credibility. John Wood, screw anti-Semites, absolutely. I'm just tired of these scumbags. I'm just tired of it. Again, I was raised to hate Jews for being Jews, period. That's what I was raised to do. And it's an evil thing. It's not based on anything that they say or do. It's just based on them being Jews, period. And people say, hey, but you hate Muslims. First of all, that's not what I do. Exactly, John. That bitch, Lauren Chen, was paid off by the Russians to try to corrupt a number of people on the right. And it worked. I mean, she exposed, what's his name? What's his name? Tim Cass? I don't even know his name now. Him, Benny Johnson, um, Dave Rubin, and the other guys. They took the bunny and they had their thing and they didn't question it. And that put a dent in their credibility. It did. And she's also people who said, we don't know what happened. Hey, man, guilty and innocent until proven guilty. Has she posted since that, guys? No. No, she hasn't. She disappeared off the face of the earth. Why? Because she's guilty of sin. She was trying to compromise the right. She was going against Tim Pool. Thanks, Travis, Pat Parrick. She tried to poison the right. She told people not to vote for Trump because the Russians didn't want them to vote for Trump. Didn't want Americans to vote for Trump. Didn't want Trump in power. That's why. But yeah, I'm really just sick of these rats. And this idiot here, nostalgic. Everyone that disagrees with you isn't a Nazi. He thinks that's necessary to say. And again, guys, never ever come to me with your IQ scores. I don't brag about my IQ. I don't talk about my IQ. But God damn it, if you're going to come to me, you better have something that's higher than mine. I mean, I would never brag about it if I was as low as 140. It's ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyone who has a truly high IQ doesn't talk about it. It's part of their intelligence. It's part of their work. It's part of their commentary. It's part of what they do. It's not this number that they try to prove that they're not stupid with, like this guy. But that's when you're dumb. That's what you got to do. And then I had to just make a point here. I said there are those who know that the two greatest threats to civilization, particularly in a nuclear age, are Islam and communism. And we're willing to say so to much blowback, particularly over calling Islam out. And then there are pussies on here who lie and cry about the Jews. And again, you got the explicit rats who just condemn the Jews for being Jews. And then you have those who entertain them. And they're almost as bad because they're trying to say, you know what, they're not that bad. They are bad. And in terms of people trying to come to me, yeah, but you hate Muslims. I don't hate Muslims. I have Muslim family members. One of them contacted me recently. It's not about Muslims, okay? It's about Islam and its true believers. That's the threat. That's the enemy. It's not about Muslims per se. Muslims are human beings first, whether they're devout or not, whatever. We don't know that. The one problem I have with the average Muslim is the fact that they don't condemn jihad. They don't. That's my problem. That's my problem with my cousins as well. Here's an AI little short video of someone made of a pig man. It's pretty damn cool. It's just cool to see him brought to life. But yeah, guys. Okay, here's also Trump being an idiot. Okay, check this out. Mike Barron posted this. Tema, ex-Tema. Yep, Muslims are the first victims of Islam. Indeed they are. Indeed they are. This is something funny that Mike Barron wrote. The great Mike Barron. He goes, this photo was taken in 1946. I'm just going through my feed right now, guys. This photo was taken in 1946. The guy is Ken Shimutsu. He is 35 years old with 2 children. Shimutsu never runs, sleeps. He never runs. He sleeps late, eats whatever he wants, even drinks beer instead of water. He eats dinner with many kinds of food every night. What does Shimutsu do to get such a body? Shimutsu doesn't have any secrets. Shimutsu is the person sitting in the bottom left corner of the photo. As for the man standing in the middle, I'm not sure who that is. That's funny. Hey, John. How's it going? That's funny stuff, guys. And then Trump fucked up. He had another iftar dinner at the White House. Just really stupid. He canceled the last one or two at least when he was the last president, understanding that, yeah, enough of his tributes to Islam, enough. But here he is, once again, paying tribute to Islam, having iftar dinner. It's just stupid. It undercuts it all. So this was my cartoon of Trump from my book, Islam Bitches. And what I posted was, I said, real Donald Trump, I tagged him. Once again, reminds me why he ended up in my book, Islam Bitches. Instead of hosting Muslims to dishonestly honor Islam, the way Obama did, try reading the goddamn Quran and you'll learn what Jefferson and Adams did. That Islam motivates jihad, and not BS Trump. Because, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, they were worried about the Barbary pirates in the oceans of Africa, and they were, raiding our ships. They were taking our people as slaves. They were hostile. It's a few hundred years ago, near our founding, a little after our founding. It's like that was our first contact with Islam. And what did these learned men, these great the statesmen of Adams and Jefferson do? They read the Quran, which is what any thinking man would do. So, okay, we got a problem here. What's their holy book? Let me read their holy book. And then say, oh, shit. So they had a joint session in Congress. They told, all the congressmen and I guess the senators, whatever they had there, about the situation. And we have to do something about it. And that's where the Marines were born. Went there. They never bothered us again. And that's what the statesmen do. That's not what Trump did. And here's what else Trump did. I'm going to pull this up here. I don't know why I did that, but you can see it here, guys. Okay. So this was Trump. This is him. This is 2018 or 19 book that I did. So I drew every Islam bitch in Islamic garb, and I made the turban, resemble his hair a little. And on every page of the Islam bitches, I have Muhammad in 1970s pimp clothing, with a top hat and with a pimp cane and with platform shoes. So he goes, quote, "We honor a great tradition of one of the world's great religions," Trump said in his last iftar dinner years ago. He said at an Islamic iftar dinner at the White House, "A timeless message of peace, clarity, and love." It makes me ill reading this shit. "There is great love," he says, "there is great love." Then he recalled his visits to the Islamic dictatorship of Saudi Arabia, where he sword danced with our enemies, as one of the great 2 days of my life, and where he also called Islam great. In response to the Muhammad cartoon contest, he smeared those of us involved, said nothing about our would-be mass murderers, this is true, and asked, why are they drawing Muhammad? Isn't there something else they can draw? So I drew him as Muhammad. And after Saudis murdered Americans in Florida, Trump of Arabia actually said, the Saudi people love the American people so much. They don't, and no one ever felt the need to say that they do. Least of all, the Saudi people. It's sickening. It's stupid. And it's completely unnecessary for the president of the United States of America, who's supposed to be America first, to be blowing Islam in a fucking dinner at the White House. Infuriating. So this is one way I was responding to these scumbags here. To say this, guys. I said, to the retarded pussies crying to me about Jewish influence, look at Islamic hellholes, completely devoid of Jewish influence. How, they bitch and moan about the Jewish influence, right, on the West. And there's no Jewish influence. There's zero Jewish influence in the Islamic world. Look at it. It's an absolute hellhole. So I said they need some badly. They need some Jewish influence badly, the Islamic world. And then I just wanted to mention here also that, guys, I'm one backer away from 250 backers and $16,000 for my Pigman #1 comic book crowdfund. Support the adventures of the only superhero who was born to fight jihad. Back it here. Yeah, unlike the Fixer, Miller's Fixer, and unlike any other superheroes like he intended Batman, Pigman was born on 9/11. He was, his name is Frank Warner. He was born to Islam, left Islam, became a writer against Islamic jihad, And after 9/11, after he saw the carnage, after he saw the people jumping from the towers, he said, "You know what? Yeah, that's not enough." And then after he heard Bush saying Islam means peace, that was it. He had to take the war into his own hands. So yeah, he was born to fight Islam. He was born on 9/11. That's the difference between him and the other so-called anti-Islam supremacists. I got the alarm here, but I'm gonna cut that off because I'm gonna go to bed later tonight. Had a little too good of a rest today. That's why I'm here so late, guys. But thanks for being here, guys. I always appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's see, guys. I just want to see something quick. Yeah. So I'm one backer away from 250. If anyone's out there, if you haven't backed it, please consider backing it. I would really, really appreciate your support. Again, this is the only comic book that takes on jihad, takes on Islam as well, and the scum of the earth enemies. And in terms of AI also, I just want to mention something. Let's see. I don't even know what this is, but you got some scumbags here coming to the fray and just completely trashing the truth. Try to get their Jew hatred in there. Anyway, guys, I'm just tired of this, and of course, when this happens, this dummy here, nostalgic, pretends that and again, never brag about your IQ if it's that low, ever, never do that. Pathetic. Ugh. Anyway, so let me get off here. Let me go to my fund my comic. Actually, I want to make my pitch here, guys. For some reason, yeah, guys, I'm at 249. If you haven't backed it, consider backing it, guys. I would really, really appreciate it. I want to get to 250. It'll be a milestone for me. And I'll hopefully get to 500 at some point, but 250, it's good. It is definitely a milestone. It'll be up to, because one more backer, it'll be 250, and then also 16,000, but which is really, really good. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your support. All things, considered in terms of the nature of the story, the heat that, I get told sometimes, hey, I'm afraid to order your stuff. I mean, I don't know what's safe to that except, the one word that comes to mind is pussies. It really is. And I tell people, I said, don't ever email me that, ever. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Get it or don't. That's it. And if you get it, great. Let me know what you think. If you don't get it because you're scared to order it, I'm the one taking all the risk. You're not. I am. I'm the one creating it, producing it, shipping it, everything. It's unbelievable to me. The foolishness that people are willing to express out there. Yeah, guys, so I wanted to, this was basically a chat with the chat, but I guess there's not much interaction here. So in the meantime, I'll just comment here. And again, guys, despite what this idiot says here, I call people who disagree with me Nazi. That's what leftists do. And again, leftists are the National Socialists in America. They're the Nazis. It's not because I disagree with them. It's because they have evil ideas, and you got to call them out. And again, it's not the point that I disagree with Ian Carroll. He's a piece of shit who props up evil. It's not a disagreement. It's not like, well, I agree with some stuff he says. No, I agree with nothing he says. Nothing. Keep in mind, guys, they try to smuggle in their evil ideas by making it seem like they're reasonable in certain ways, and we're supposed to accept that. It's like, well, yeah, Yeah, they hate America. Yeah, they hate Jews. Yeah, they love Islam. They love Hitler. But you know what? They said something good about Trump, so therefore they're a-okay. No, it's retarded. It's morally retarded. It's just stupid. Um, so yeah, guys, I did want to interact with you, but I guess if we're not there, I just want to make my pitch for Pigman. Um, Good Charlie T. Pigman is very cool. Thank you very much. Good Charlie T. I much appreciate it. And if you don't know Pigman, his name is Frank Warner. He was an ex-Muslim. Uh, he encountered Islam very early, uh, meaning he was born Muslim, but also he encountered jihad very early. Exactly, Raul Julia, moderate terrorists. As a, it's like these are, they're decent Jew haters. I mean, they just hate Jews, but they like Trump. So you know what? They like. All right. Let's bring them in. No, fuck them, because America, it's really about individualism. It's not about judging people based on groups. That's what the left does. That's what collectivists do. That's why all these rats, from Candace Owens to Tucker Carlson to Ian Carroll, they might as well be on the left, and some of them will end up there anyway. As I said, Richard Spencer, right, ended up voting for Biden. And remember, the media tried to prop him up as someone on the right. Remember that? They always kept saying white supremacists. They always had him on, from CNN to others. As soon as he voted for Biden, that was it. That was it. It was preposterous. But that's what these guys are. These guys are here to fuck up, to fuck shit up, to dirty the waters, to stain the right. And some of them are being paid for it. Clearly, I mean, look, Tucker Carlson, why does he have a Muslim donor? The guy is independently wealthy, incredibly wealthy. He was born rich, and plus he has a few $100 million. Why does he need millions from a Muslim for his media company? Why? You know why, guys. So the guy has a say-so in where he says, what he says, where he goes, and what he does. In Mr. America First, Tucker Carlson was a guy who said that when he was asked about October 7th, shortly after, he said, I'm America First, man. I'm America First. What did he do right after? He went to a global tour, a world tour. Why? He's been going everywhere. He went to Europe, he went to South America, he went to Russia, he went to the Islamic world. Why? In other words, he went everywhere except Israel. And these kind of people we have to call out. We have to shove them aside. We really do. They're poison. These guys are poison. They're not for individual rights. They're not for individualism. They're not. They are collectivists. They see people as groups, period. And then again, people say, well, you see Muslims as a group. I don't. Again, Islam and its true believers are the enemy. Muslims may or may not be involved with it. The biggest problem I have with them is that they are collectivists, and they also do not condemn the jihad. That's a problem I have with them, with my own cousins and family. That's my problem with them. But I don't see them as a monolith. I don't. I know that the jihadists are the true believers. They are a small minority within Islam. They are. Those who support them, I mean, look, when you can't find any Muslim, protests against Hamas, that's a major problem with the religion itself, a major problem with a lot of the people too, and you get told, well, I hate what they're doing. Yeah, that's fine. Don't tell me. Tell the world that, Muslims. Don't tell me about that. I don't want to hear it. I know what we were taught as Muslims. I know that. I know that we were taught to hate Jews because they're Jews. I know that we were taught, to treat women like shit. That's what we were taught. That's antithetical to America, to individualism, to what we stand for, completely. And that's why those who pussyfoot with Islam, who talk about, Judaism and Israel, they're dangerous to the right. They don't belong on the right. And again and again and again, I will keep telling you this, guys. These guys are collectivists. You're either for individual rights or you're not. You're either on the right for liberty and freedom or you're not. These guys are corrupt scumbags. They belong on the left. They are on the left, but they belong there. They need to be shoved there. And again, some of them go there naturally, like Richard Spencer. He ended up there. Voted for Biden, hated Trump, expressed it, and again, we never saw him again on these media channels that were trying to prop him up as a right wing example. Tema says tribalism is really weird. They are prone to prioritize their group above what they would otherwise consider as wrong. Yep, absolutely right. And it's poison. It's not something that is the natural home on the right. These are interlopers. Those who do that, they're interlopers. They don't belong here. We're about individual rights. We're about America, Americanism, which is individualism. And in short, we're about individual rights. We don't see people as groups. We are truly the melting pot, truly. And just because there are people in this country who don't melt, no, it doesn't mean it undermines the ideal that we ought to, that we should. So I just, it's infuriating. It really is. These scumbags getting a platform on the right and being perceived as being on the right and poisoning the waters, undermining the right. Trump's got to be careful. He really does. He's got to distance himself from that piece of shit, Tucker Carlson, from others. He has to stop doing these goddamn iftar dinners to pay tribute to Islam. He's got to stop that. Enough. He canceled them before. He should have canceled this one as well. Not good. We get nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. And they get everything out of it, the enemy. They see that as a sign of weakness, not as respectful towards Islam, as a sign of weakness. Do you think the Islamic enemy wants Trump to do well for America and the world? No. They want him dead. Raul Julia says, I saw in Gaza the other day they were supposedly protesting Hamas, which is good if true. No, that was they were fronting. They were trying to put it on record that's what they were doing. Someone on X, I think, exposed it. Guys, let's just say one thing. There has not been any actual legitimate protest against Hamas by Muslims at all. There has not been, unless you see the Muslims in the West, at least. You would imagine the ones who are living in paradise compared to Islamic countries. There's also one thing, guys. This factor. Muslims talk about paradise, right? What do they do when countries outside of the Islamic hellholes are paradise compared to Islamic hellholes? What do? They can't compete with that. It's like whatever, Islam promises, like I can get it in America, actually, even better. That's why when these scumbags in Saudi Arabia come to America, they rent out floors of hotels and they engage in as much debauchery as they possibly can, right? Whores, drugs, everything that they possibly can. They go back to their hellholes and then they start paying jihadists to try to make them feel better about what they did, the crimes that they committed by indulging them, themselves to the extent that they did. It's preposterous, man. It really is. But yeah, guys, I'm about to crack 250. Anyone here, if you haven't backed it, please consider backing it. I got a good amount of eyeballs, at least on X, 185 eyeballs here. YouTube is seems like it's really dead tonight here, at least on my channel. 1 second, guys. Let me just see. Yeah, it's really dead. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to chat with the chat. I wish there were more of you here, at least interacting. Hey, ask away. Let's do a AMA. Ask me anything, and we'll go from there. And again, I had this character here, nostalgic. Everyone that disagrees with you isn't a Nazi. That's what SJWs say. Yeah. What are SJWs? You dummy. They are National Socialists. They are socialists. That's what Hitler was. He was a color called SJW. He was liberal arts degree, painter, hated Jews, hated capitalism, hated America, loved Marx. That's what you're defending, you fucking idiot who has nerve to have a picture of Trump. Just just have Hitler on there, dummy. Um, yeah, so I want to just touch on that, guys, and I guess in the meantime, I'll go through some of my campaign. Let me just pull this here. Yeah, guys, if you want to back it, if you're here, if you haven't backed it, please consider backing it. There's no comic like it out there. There isn't. Um, the Islamic background of twins comes to the forefront of their lives on 9/11, which is echoed by the comic book Within, Pigman versus Super Jihad. I made my debut in 2004 with my graphic novel Table for One. It's I used to pitch at conventions as a Dirty Harry as a waiter. It takes place one night in an underground restaurant in Manhattan. I used the background of my experience in the restaurant business prior to becoming a cartoonist. I use it as its own mini world where all the clashes of different people clash in there, and it was fun. I got some great response to that. I was nominated for an Eisner based on that talent deserving of wider recognition, and also a Russ Manning Most Promising Newcomer Award, which was part of the Eisners. So I guess technically I was nominated for two Eisners because it's always part of it at the same words about the rookies. And I created Pigman not long after 9/11. He appears in my comic books and books. He appeared in his first print appearance is in Prop Pagana, Drawn a Line Against Jihad, which is now out of print. Maybe at some point I might, have another print run of it, look at it again, remaster it. We'll see if there's interest. I've drawn 7 books. I've written articles. Travis Parrick. Ethan has his trash cast going on right now. I see. Okay, yeah. That's why I probably, at least on YouTube, whereas according to this on X is 189 eyeballs. But if Ethan's on there, yeah, he's probably taking up the bulk of whoever's out there watching right now. But yeah, guys, so I've drawn 7 books. I've written articles and have drawn cartoons for Breitbart, PJ Media, Jihad Watch, Front Page Magazine, the Alimbo Letter. You can find me on Rumble, YouTube, and X. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it, guys. And if you could like this also on X and YouTube, this particular live stream. Thank you very much, guys. Yes, I'm just trying to. I'm all over the place tonight, guys. I just wanted to touch on that. Hitler butt boys are all out. They're out there tonight for the last day or two. Um, it's sickening. This should be something that should be intolerable. It should be. But a lot of guys on the right, idiots on the right, are like humoring it. They're like, that's okay. It's not okay. It's not. If anyone out there knows this, supposedly Ethan mentioned that John Malin was talking about how we should side with Israel in their war. And Ethan was, pretty neutral about it, unfortunately, for whatever reason. And I like that about John. I mean, John, he seems to have his head on pretty damn straight about these things. And he also called Pigman the most important comic book in Comicsgate or in comics in general. I personally appreciate that, but it also tells me that he understands what we're dealing with there, with the Islamic threat. He understands it. And he also understands that the enemies of Israel are our enemies, Let's see. Raul Julia says, did your printers years ago have any objections? Do you think they will this time? Objections to my books that I send them to print? I lucked out with my printer. I lucked out. I don't know. I sought out a printer I had a number in mind, and something about that one that I chose, which I never name for their sake. I never name them. They have printed everything I've asked them to print. Everything. Except once last year, it was under new ownership. My longtime printer. Phew, we're talking how many years now? Many years now. Going on 10 years almost. Um, they, I had my, let me show you. I had my my Muhammad, the flip book, right? Um, who guest stars uh, Pigman, as you can see. And by the way, guys, it'll be coming here soon. So if you guys want to order it at my store, you can order it. It's a one of a kind thing. I don't think there's any flip book with Muhammad out there in the world or in history. I'm not exaggerating. People tell me sometimes they email me and do you know that you're the only one taking this on? And I say yeah, I know. It's not bragging. It's just a fact. I'm proud of it though. I am. And it's not the point that people try to say sometimes. Well, uh, they give me these extravagant terms that they use to describe me, and the only thing I really say to that is this, guys. Just because most people in my industry are pussies doesn't make me the opposite of that. It just doesn't. To me, it was the most natural thing in the absolute world to respond to the atrocity of 9/11 by writing and drawing a comic book against it. That was natural, absolute natural. Um, what's this? Jesus Christ. Majin Buu Swallows WAF. I don't know. Links to Jihad Watch. Germany. 3 Muslim migrants repeatedly stab 18-year-old man in the back, critically injuring him. Yeah. You guys are savage fucks. It happens every single day, guys. This week alone, 203 human beings slaughtered in the name of Islam across the world. And we're going to hear about the Jews. We're going to hear about the Jews, and we're supposed to take those people. I mean, we're supposed to take their word and say, yeah, these guys are serious people. No, they're not. They're fucking clowns. They're, and also, again, it's also the Jew haters pose is also this. They think they've locked onto some mystery evil, right? That they really know it. No matter what happens in the world, no matter what's going on, they know the truth, the real deal here. It's sickening. It's and again, this happens like as Majin just posted here. Every single day this happens across the world. Every single day. And we're to hear about the Jews here. And again, there are good Jews, bad Jews. That's not the point. It's the point that they're trying to call all Jews evil. That they run the world, except the Jew haters. Clearly, they run everything except those who hate Jews. It's very fanciful on their part. It's like Jews are so powerful, they run everything except me. It's like, oh, bravo, great. And again, I come from the perspective of being raised to hate Jews as a Muslim, to hate Jews and to love Hitler. And again, guys, we were not devout Muslims. We were not in an Islamic hellhole. We were in America, in the Bronx. Do you understand? Passive Muslims, quote unquote, moderate Muslims, and still that kind of evil was normal within our Muslim family. Normal. It's evil. And I'm sick of it. I'm just seeing it all over the place, and I'm just slapping these bitches away left and right whenever they come on my threads, on my comments. They're worthless pieces of shit. Worthless piece of shit. So yeah, guys, this is an open chat, guys. It's basically it's your show. So if you're here, I got a lot of eyeballs on here, guys. So have at it. AMA, ask me anything. We'll go from there. And if you don't know, those who are new here, I have a comic book out there. It's a crowdfund. Pigman. It's the only anti-jihad superhero, and it takes on Islam as well. In his secret identity life, he writes against Islam and jihad, and then he fights jihad on the battlefield, on a physical level, and on the streets of whatever city he goes to, if need be, to stop these scumbags. I got 5 different covers, guys, for my campaign. All are different than the other. Here's a preview here. We've got 9-page preview. You can see it here. Even my fictional counterpart, who creates Pigman within the comic book, gets into street fights, gets into battles on a physical level as well, goes into comic book conventions and has panels where they have battle of ideas with others over Islam and such. It goes on television. I've done all these things except go on panels like comic book conventions about Islam and jihad. I'd love to do it, but you know, there are pussies there who would never, ever host that. Unfortunately, I would love to do that. I would love to go up against Muslims and even Christians who pretend that Islam's fine, and leftists, atheists, communists, and go at them. I would love to do that. That's what I have Killian do here. So yeah, guys, this is what I have. I have Pigman commissions. I have original art. I have the sketch covers. My first graphic novel is part of this campaign as well. I have a trading card. Ramadan, Travis Park. You know, we celebrated it. It was I don't remember too much, but I know that some of our cousins they went on their fast and then they gorged themselves, you know, whenever they could for that open window to the point of almost, I don't know, I guess to defeat the purpose, I guess. It was just, and we know, again, we were pretty lax, but we did celebrate those things. We didn't eat pork, unless by mistake, when someone brought the wrong bologna, got their asses kicked over it. We went to mosque only once, twice a year. We went to the Brooklyn Mosque for some reason. I don't know why, as opposed to the Bronx Mosque. But when we went to the mosque, there was an Arab imam who spoke in Arabic, who I think looked at us, looking back, he looked at us with contempt because we were the white Muslims. There's a racism within Islam as well, where I think the true believers believe that they're the real deal, like the Arabs. They look down on blacks and whites who are Muslim. They'll take the numbers and they'll pump them up and say, yeah, look how many, you know, but in the end, I think a lot of them are racists. So the point is that when we were there, we had to follow his moves and his words, and we were just aping whatever he was doing. And some of my cousins used to fart in the middle of the proceedings of the prayer, and supposedly that deletes your prayer if you do that. It's actually in one of the maybe hadith. It's comical and stupid, but funny. And I was pissed at the time because I was a serious kid. I wanted to take it seriously, and I thought that they weren't taking it seriously. But looking back, as I always say, they gave it the respect it deserved. You know, it's stupid to pray to Allah, and it really is. And you know, once you get intimate with the religion after the fact, I mean, I didn't read the Quran until after I left Islam. The Quran was in our household, but it was written in Arabic. Nobody could read Arabic. It's just the idea of having it there, you know, this holy book. It's silly. So yeah, guys, I have regarding my printer. Sorry, Roll Julia, thanks. Um, they printed everything I've ever given them, which is incredible actually. Because some of the stuff, I had this one print. You know what? Let me show you actually. Let me show you. Huh. Roll Julia. Does Pigman have a pig computer? He does. He actually does, and you see a little bit when he's writing his Warner blog, the Warner. His name is Frank Warner, and it's emphasis on war. He's warning us about what's coming. Yes, roll Julia. Indeed, it does. It deletes your prayer. Um, yeah. Yeah, I just had to ban someone who's coming on here. One of the rats who just comes on here and just trashes Jews. It's so, and again, whatever else it is, right, guys? It's a pussy. These guys are pussies because we live in a world where hundreds and hundreds of people get slaughtered by Muslims every single week across the world, and they fancy themselves as brave truth tellers by trashing Jews. What have Jews done to them? What have Jews done to the world? And then also another thing also, when they can't pin anything on the Jews, like like this week's the jihad body count, if they can't pin it on Jews, they ignore it. Like, ah, fuck, that's bad, but I can't pin it on Jews, so fuck it, I'll just ignore it. And also another thing, you got a piece of shit. What's his name? Elijah something. I forgot his name. You guys probably know. He probably reminded me recently. I'm glad I forget their names, actually. I do. There's also people. Jews invented communism. First of all, invented. What a way to talk about founding a ideology. Invented. It's a lack of intelligence to even say that. Marx had a Jewish background. Marx hated Jews. Marx was a self-loathing piece of shit. Everything was in spite of it. Everything was against it. Everything was to reject his heritage. Everything was to reject capitalism, the free market. Everything was nihilistic with a veneer of equality, right? It's not at all. You know, communism and socialism is not about equality at all. It's about having power over the masses. Eliza Schaefer. Thank you, Fabian. That piece of shit also said, like communism is Jewish. Pet. Will Pigman have a pet Razorback? That's funny. There was at one point early on some kind of sidekick in some kind of ape type thing costume because in the Quran repeatedly, a handful of times at least, it calls Jews the descendants of apes and pigs. I thought that would be a funny way of expressing that in there. But yeah, so when what they do, these rats, these Jew haters, is that they attribute to Judaism things that are not Jewish. They attribute to Judaism everything the left does. They attribute to Judaism Islamic immigration, which is retarded. It's stupid. It's just it's like what does it even mean? Because there's a Jewish politician who sanctions it. What? That doesn't mean anything. They attribute to Judaism hundreds of millions murdered in the name of communism because communism is quote unquote Jewish. Communists hate Jews, hate them. They murder them. The socialists hate Jews. Fascists hate Jews. Muslims hate Jews. The Russians, the Soviets hated Jews. Um, the protocols of the Elders of Zion was a Russian, conspiracy theory. The idea that Jews are trying to rule the world. It's embedded within communism, socialism, Jew hatred. Why? Because it's what Marx had, a self-loathing a scumbag who wanted to try to, you know, make nihilism into an ideology and give it form and give it sense and try to cover that up. What it is it's pure nihilism is what it is. But then he wants to say, no, it's not. It's actually a good thing. It's equality and all that, which is a lie. That's a cover up. Evil always hides behind noble, um, ideas. Let me show you something quick, guys. I mentioned before about my printer and how generous they've been in printing my stuff. They printed this. If you remember when Trump had that typo, 2017, I believe, and it was like Kofi. People were like it was a mystery, right? It was just a typo of some word that he used, coffee or something. I forgot what it was, but excuse me, I had a good amount of sleep. I don't know why I'm yawning. Anyway, so he I have him saying Kofif in scary font. And while we may not know exactly what it meant, that was the idea at least at the time, Muhammad does know, and he's terrified. I thought that was funny. And again, my printer doesn't really care, even when it's explicit like this. Remember the Epic Rap Battles of History YouTube channel? They had all these funny rap battles of all these people who, I guess, were seen to be somewhat the same. So I said, all right, how about this? I said, we'll never ever see this on that channel ever. So I thought it was a good way to do that. So they printed everything I've ever asked them to print. And even now, with this the flip book, they're printing it. They told me last year that they won't print it, and they didn't give me a reason why. So I figured it was because of the idea. I'm like, oh shit. And it basically was that they couldn't fit it within 2.5 and 4 that I designed it in. But now they said follow up next time. So I did follow up after a while. And they told me that, I'm sorry, one second, guys. Huh. Okay. They told me that they can print it, but it's 4x4 now. So it's not ideal because there'll be a black, like a little inch on top, black inch on bottom across the page. But those who order it, you guys will still get it. And I think it looks cool. It has a little look like a movie style thing, like the old, what do you call that, guys? Letterbox, black on top, black on bottom. And it's a color, it's in full color. And it's fun. Of course, it's over within, a very short period, 70 pages. And it's, I don't want to say what it is, but I do recommend ordering it, guys, because again, you'll never find anything like this anywhere else except on my store, bossfawson.com. Go to the store, order this. It's $23. I charged it that much because of what the printing cost would be, and it's still a little under that I would have liked in terms of the price wise. But sorry, a little under, yeah, than I would have liked. But I don't want to charge too much. But again, it's unique unto itself. It's something that's very, very different. And I also have my Trump war paint cartoon that I made into a print. I have Pigman war paint stickers. I have Trump war paint, the stickers as well, guys. So yeah, guys, I did want to make this about the chat. Looks like there's a lot of eyeballs here, but I do want to go back and forth with you guys. Come on. Have at it, man. And again, you're going to come here and say, talk about the Jews, fuck off. fuck off. You want to criticize Israel for certain things? That's fine. I criticize Israel. I criticize Israel for making horrific deals with jihadists, horrific deals that don't help Israel at all. That's when I criticize Israel. I criticize Israel for having terrible COVID policies. It's terrible. Whenever they go against their own people, yeah, I will absolutely criticize them. Going out there and killing their enemies, please. They have to do that. They must do that. They have no choice. Raul Julie says, your printer sounds pretty cool. Why do you think it is that everyone picked Jews as their boogeyman throughout history? I don't know. I mean, it's an old thing. The first monotheistic religion that really took off, I guess, they tend to flourish. They tend to flourish as a group, even though they're a small minority everywhere they go. They tend to do very well. There's envy involved there. And again, you're never gonna find envious people saying, I am envious of them. No. Envy is the hidden, shameful emotion that people have to cover up. And how they cover up is by saying they're up to something, they're up to no good, they're, whatever. They try to make every possible way to try to rationalize the fact that they're envious and they don't even know why they hate the. Again, we were taught to hate the Jews. And it got to a certain point where, like, you have a friend who's Jewish, you're like, what the fuck? And you share a pepperoni pizza with them, you betray your respective religions with them, and you realize how stupid it is, this hatred. And the one thing that really got me about Islam was how dishonest it was by the religion itself and also the people around it, my family, how dishonest it was on such petty levels and serious deep levels, wide levels. That's what ultimately knocked me out of Islam. It wasn't even the jihad. I mean, I didn't think much of it at the time anyway, until clearly 9/11. We knew about the jihad, but 9/11, that was a call for us to finally end jihad, and we fucked up. Our government fucked up. Our media fucked up. Our so-called intellectuals. If you're not an intellectually honest intellectual, you're not an intellectual. You're I don't know what you are, but you're not an intellectual. So yeah, Raul, I mean, I think there's a lot of different reasons, but I think the one is simple, that they do very well for themselves. They're a close-knit group. They flourish in most of their endeavors. They really do. And losers don't like that. And they try to make it out to be, again, no envious rat bastards call themselves, I'm an envious rat bastard. They don't do that. What they say is they're up to no good. They must have got it in dirty ways. They must have earned it somehow. They want what they have. Also, guys, there's something also behind the idea where Jews run everything. First of all, it's not true, but also one thing, sorry. Okay, they say that, right? Why do they say that? Because they want to run everything. So it's an envious, even on that level. First of all, it's not true, but they want to run everything. And they don't want those to do it. They want to do it. So there's that aspect also. Travis Parrick says, I'll get table for one this upcoming Friday. Appreciate it, Travis. Thank you very much. I think you'll enjoy it. It's an entertaining story. One night at an underground restaurant in Manhattan. It's fun. I used to pitch it in short as Dirty Harry as a waiter. I thought that was funny. I thought people more or less got it and said, oh, okay, that's funny. And it deals with a lot. It deals with a lot of stuff, a lot of people and a lot of things going on. And I also have the customers speak in this whole entire double page spread about, it was post 9/11, so I wanted to have a little commentary in there. It was my first opportunity to have commentary about what happened, and I took that opportunity. But the story is not, dealing with 9/11 Islam per se, but it has a little allusions to it that I thought was worth having because when 9/11 hit, I was working on my graphic novel, and I asked myself, I said, "Am I going to scrap this? Is this after what we just saw, after what I just saw? Am I going to scrap that?" I said, "You know what? No, just finish it. Maybe incorporate something in there, and then go full throttle with what ended up being Pigman after that." So yeah, guys, this is my comic. I'm at 249. Uh, I just need one more backer. One of you guys here. I got a lot of eyeballs here on X at least. And if you're here, come on, guys, back it. Be that 250th backer. Get me to 16,000. That'll be awesome. That will be awesome. So yeah, and if you don't know, Pigman wears pigskin leather. That's it on his mask, his belt, his gloves, his boots, and Muslims, in particular the jihadists, he goes after. They might lose their shot to get to paradise. They might lose their shot to get to paradise just by coming in contact with pigskin leather. That's why some of them they kill themselves before he comes in contact with them. Here's Osama bin Laden himself. When Pigman confronts him, he goes, I'll shoot. I swear, don't touch me. He's scared shit about being touched. And what does Pigman do? He grabs him by his beard and pulls him up. And he tells him, he goes, and I thought you were, and they said you were 6 feet, more like under. And then he faints, 6 feet. He's supposed to be over the 6 feet tall, and Pigman, towers over him. He's 6'5", almost 300 pounds. And he's all about trying to end jihad. Again, whether that's an ambitious idea or not, his goal is to end jihad. That's it. Nothing short of that. That's why this cover also tries to convey that he's making his vow to end jihad, looking at the Twin Towers as tombstones. This is the opening. There's Frank and his writing partner, Muhammad. They're arguing on a rooftop, and they hear something, and they look up, and it says, I drew it black, like a bat out of hell. And up until this point, Muhammad was pretty heavy-lidded eyes. He was like out of it, and then he just woke up as soon as he saw a tower. He's brought back to life. And then when he sees a second tower hit, that's when he drops to his knees and says Allahu Akbar. And this is Killian Duke, my stand-in. Again, guys, it's about twin brothers, Killian Duke and Salam Duka, and they are here on this cover. Recovered Muslim, Killian Duke, born-again Muslim, Salam, which means peace in Islam. And the idea is that, what if I split myself in two? Post 9/11, if I became a born-again Muslim, and if I became, a recovered Muslim, which is what I am, that was interesting to me. It was like, the first idea, of course, was the visceral, emotional idea about getting these bastards, and that's where Pigman came in. And then I said, you know what, that's not enough, actually. That's not enough. I need a little more meat. Not bacon, but meat. I need a little more oomph. So I said, okay, I love the idea of taking on these scumbags and showing us how they should be dealt with. But I also said, you know what? I want to get deeper. I want to get into the culture war. I want to get into this entire, every front against this enemy, every front. And that's when I started thinking about the brothers, the twins, their quote unquote real world, and then the Pigman world of the fictional world of that story. And also the conflict between Super Jihad and Pigman echoes the brothers' conflict, just in an extreme form. And there's also a similarity here also, just in terms of color. The pigskin leather has that slight orange hue, like a rust, and it resembles Killian's hair, the red hair. There's also that, and also here. you see Killian wearing a pigskin leather jacket as well. That's not by accident. And he's wearing Pigman's symbol, which you also can wear, guys, because I'm selling a t-shirt. Here is Pigman's symbol. And let me show you guys. The Pigman symbol is this, guys. And I'm going to go the gamut here. It is September 11th. September 11th. And these two dents here make a 3. So it's, besides the September 11th, it's 9. You see that? 9, 11. And then also 9, 3. Flight 93 on 9/11 with Todd Beamer. And them bringing that plane down before it hit the Capitol building. And then also 1993, the first attack on the Twin Towers, where 6 Americans were murdered by these savages who tried to topple the towers left to right to kill 100,000 people. And then also a traditional S like Superman, superhero. And then, of course, he's a capitalist pig, so it's like a dollar sign. That was my thinking there for the t-shirt. And so that's it, guys. That's my pitch. I appreciate it. Would love for you guys to back it. Love to crack 250 and $16,000. That'll be a nice, a real nice thing to get to. Okay. Travis Parik says, did anyone try to discourage you from reading certain books in the Quran because they knew it contained a bunch of contradictions? From my experience, when I was going to church, I was told to only New Testament only, and that the Old Testament didn't matter. Let me just get do you 1 second, Travis? I'm just Raul Julie says, part man, part pig, all justice. That's right. So Travis, I went in there pretty blindly. I gotta admit, because again, we had the Quran in our household, but it was in Arabic. We couldn't read it. So after 9/11, I said, okay, I gotta study Islam, and I know that there are, at least I picked up that there were, the religious texts are spread out from the Sirah, the biography of Muhammad, the Hadith, which is a lot of these doings and sayings of Muhammad. Some are legit, some aren't, and then the Quran itself. And the Quran is full of contradictions, yes, but the way they took care of that was this, is something called the doctrine of abrogation within Islam. And that says that if later passages contradict earlier ones, you go with the later ones. The later ones abrogate the earlier ones. If the earlier one says, live and let live, the other ones that say, kill the infidels where you find them, completely deletes, abrogates the live and let live. That's how it takes care of its contradiction. And the Quran is, was compiled largest, biggest chapters to the shortest. And also one of the last, if not the last, chapter of the Quran, the verse of the sword, was the second to last or last. What does that say about Islam? That its final word was all war for all time. So, and then I read excerpts from the Hadith. Certain books had them. I didn't get, I don't know if there's collections of them, because again, a lot of them are considered legit, illegitimate, and so on. And again, Muslims pick and choose which ones they want to. If it makes Islam look good, boom, they will say that that's, legit, when it's not, actually. When it's not. Muslims will lie to us and tell us that the Quran doesn't say this, doesn't say that. And there are now copies of the Quran which absolutely lie to readers by watering down what's said. That's why after the attacks on 9/11, I sought out certain individuals who were out there who were considered experts and asked them, look, man, I want to read this, but I want to read the right one. I want to read the most legit ones, the most authentic ones. And I got a few people who wrote back, and one of them was Daniel Pipes, one of them was Robert Spencer. Daniel Pipes, who I've since dismissed, and he's gotten, if you guys notice, remember he was considered an Islam expert. Where's he been for the last few years? I don't know. I don't want to know. He was really stupid. He got to the point where he was talking about Islam 2.0. It's like Islamism also, Islamism 2.0. What? he was always preoccupied with moderate Islam. Always. Not with Islam as is, but moderate Islam. It's like, that doesn't, first of all, it doesn't mean anything. There is no such thing as moderate Islam. Islam is by itself extreme and totalitarian and militant and political and so on. By as such, there might be quote unquote moderate Muslims who are not, who are moderate in their, observance of Islam, but that's about it. So yeah, I got it does have a lot of contradictions, but they try to take care of it by that. And also they get caught up, they fucked up also, because then people said, okay, but then what? Did Allah fuck up? Did he not know? What do you mean he improved on his stuff? Wasn't it perfect at first? And so on. So that's, it's almost comical. But yeah, so I read it, reread it. Um, I built up over 1,000 page quote unquote Bible for Pigman. Everything I get my hands on from my studies of Islam and jihad and books on that and authors and certain quotes over the years by Muslims and critics of Islam and so on. And I built that all into my story because I wanted to know it intimately. I wanted to know what's in the enemy's mind to how to defeat him. And it was something that I was listening to earlier about art and what was it, AI, how it's, some people consider art and stuff, and it's not. It's not. And I was tagged on this one thing, and I just wrote back. I said, "Look, it's not art. It's not. Art is created by human beings. AI is like a digital box that they just pluck stuff out and throw it out there to you. Yeah, what do you think? It's not art. Art has to be created by human beings." By human beings who took their time and effort to create art. There's a creative process involved. It's something that's not, a computer can't do that. A computer can again absorb certain things and all these images and bring something out from that and present it to you as quote unquote art, but it's not art. It's like a blob of a billion things. And then they, these prompters, which what they are, they prompt certain things. They call themselves artists, which is embarrassing. It's just stupid. So I responded to that earlier also, and then I don't know. Um, hey Diana, hi boss, thank you for doing this chat tonight. I'm glad I got cover number 3 with this crowdfunding with the twin brothers and Pigman Super Jihad. New followers, get Bosch to 250. Yes, please. Thank you, Diana. Hope I can get there, tonight while I'm here, live. Again, I got more eyeballs on X. Let's see how. Very few on YouTube. I guess Ethan's still on. He has a wide audience. I think he has 130 something thousand now followers. But here on X, it's pretty damn good. And I wasn't able to stream actually on X the other day. I fired up the live stream. I had to turn it off because it was dead on X completely. I couldn't even stream. And that's my biggest platform out there right now, X. I have 26,400 followers, and I've gotten a few hundred followers this week, which is great. But I've been stuck at 26,000 for about a year now. I don't know what, I don't know what that's for. I don't know what that's about. I guess I'm being shadow banned to some extent because the CEO of X, that Yakario, whatever her name is, she said, basically you'll be diminished if you write certain things, and it's not about reach or speech. I don't know how much to try to say it was corny, but sure, art, no doubt. I mean, this is an odd time for me as well. I mean, I don't think I've ever um, streamed this late. um, I don't think so. Excuse me. And I don't know why I'm tired. I mean, the reason why I stream is because I wasn't tired. I had a real good sleep and a good nap as well. I was reading and just crashed. I was like, all right, great. So yeah, that's no doubt why. But yeah, guys, I want us to be a chat show, so ask away. I'll try to answer questions to the best of my ability. Unless they're stupid, questions like the idiots. There's two Jew haters on here who's popped in just to spew their garbage. Again, guys, we got to rid these fuckers from the right because they are on the left. If they love Hitler, they love National Socialism. They love collectivism. They love seeing people as groups, as otherism. They're no damn good. You cannot be a liberty-loving individual and love Hitler. You can't. It's impossible. It's possible. And also that piece of shit, Tucker Carlson. He said something about this one guy. I forgot his name, but a South American leader. He said he's a right-wing authoritarian. He's a right-wing authoritarian. He's one of my best friends, but he's a right-wing authoritarian. He also said something along these lines. He says, and while we hate the Holocaust, I mean he said it in like a perfunctory way, like he goes, basically he was trying to say like, yeah, while we hated the Holocaust, there was some good stuff there. He didn't say it, but that's what he was trying to allude to. And he was very careful. Again, he's not as stupid as Candace Owens, she's too stupid to know what she's saying, so she just says it. She's really stupid. And you could tell also by her over enunciation of her language. That's something that Eric July does as well. It's like the sign of the idiot who over enunciates every little thing. There's something about that. They're trying to, it's like that other one, Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, a piece of shit congresswoman, right? She tries to do the opposite now. She's trying to be a hood rat, trying to be a whore from the hood. Whereas before she over-enunciated, she was speaking normal. I think it was her normal voice. But now she's like, shit, I'll be doing this. And it's like, first of all, it's fake. Both are fake, probably. But I'm glad that she's the face of the Democrat Party for today, at least. It's good. That's what you want. You want that, and then you got this idea. Another idiot, Jason Whitlock, is trying to pretend that. How do you put it? He said that Stephen A. Smith has been trying to run president. That might be true. But he made a really stupid conclusion, which I had to call him out for. Let me try to find it, guys. Let me try to find it here. If you could indulge me a little. Thank you. I think did they delete my comments? Maybe they did. Maybe they did. That's pretty funny. Okay. I think they did. But, this idea that Stephen A. Smith, the blowhard idiot sportscaster, could be president is preposterous. He's not articulate. He's one who also tries to over-enunciate and tries to use words that are very inappropriate to use. Even this, like things have transpired. It's like, nah, you don't have to put it that way. He's really stupid, and it's comical that he actually thinks he can become president. Art says, you doing the auction tomorrow? Might need sleep if so. I am, at least if it's still on. I know Ethan had an auction recently and just, went off the grid. But if he does, sure. I got a whole stack of original art here. Not just the ones that we did for the live stream, but some other stuff as well. I also got things like this as well, if anyone might be interested. Covers of my Pigman comic, but then again, I might not, because again, if I can't sell it for as much as I want, I might leave that for the campaign. I think people is better for that. So I might just show those things and also maybe some other drawings of Pigman, but I also have the one of Kanye West and stuff, which I think is fun. But yeah, guys, I did want it to be some kind of interactive um, s- stream tonight because the last few they've been organized with reviews and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's just enough action. No offense to you guys. I just wanted to do that, and a good amount of eyeballs here on X. It's much appreciated. But if you guys got no more comments, I think I'm gonna check out. If you do, let me know. Let me know, guys. I would appreciate it. Go back and forth on a few things. Some things you may not know about me. Just ask me, and if it's not personal, I can tell you. It depends on the nature of the question as well. Yeah, if you notice, guys, I never talk about my personal life for a good number of reasons. Um, for safety reasons, period. Hey Travis, will you consider maybe using AI as a tool to use to make animated episodes of Pigman? The reason why I bring this up is there's a movie trailer entitled Karen that only took 8 weeks to make. Sure, I mean for things like that to promote Pigman, sure. Meaning to bring people to the comic book, absolutely. Like that one guy just did for here. Let me show you. It's a fan who did this. It says a very short uh, a visual of a Pigman. Yeah, guys, look at this. I mean, it's pretty damn cool. You know, just seeing that, I think it's pretty damn cool. So yeah, that to use for to promote Pigman. I mean, what you want is you always want to bring people to back to the book, back to the book. That's what you want, not as an end in itself, unless of course, if a studio comes to me, we want to make a Pigman cartoon, and then I'm all ears. We can go back and forth. I'll tell them, well, I'll design it and so on. And if you guys are serious, yeah. So sure, um, but again, use it to promote the book. Really, um, I mean that to me is just a tool. It's a tool like any other. And in terms of advertising, it's like I want to advertise. I have money to spend on advertising. I just can't find those who are willing to advertise. It's like I'm in a place. It's very strange. I would assume like Breitbart wants money, but they haven't got back to me. I'm assuming Daily Wire and others want money, but they haven't got back to me. It's like, okay. So I was relegated to having some promoting some posts on X, which was a success. I turned around the whatever I spent over and over again. I mean, three, four times more than I spent, if not even more than that. It was a nice thing, and then it stopped being good after a few. I stopped getting boosted, even though they said you're being boosted. I was not being boosted, and then it boosted 3 or 4 days later, but nowhere near as much as that it did initially. So I'm looking for advertising. I just don't know where. I just don't know where. I thought about doing some super chats here and there, but I don't know if that even translates. Like sometimes I super chatted to Ethan and stuff, and to Shane, and just say back Pigman, and I'm not sure if that works. But people do need a reminder. We do need to advertise. I do want to get out there. And if AI can help me do that, absolutely. It's a tool. Um, that's really what it is. Hey, Happy's Funhouse. Have you seen the black KKK outfit Kanye wore or the diamond swastika chain? Ah, man. I saw something about that. He's retarded, he really is. And here's my cartoon of Kanye, right? I put him where he belongs. He belongs there. And I might make this available tomorrow at the auction. It was not considered too quote unquote controversial, which I don't think it is. But yeah, he's a guy who has more money than he knows what to do with, and more time than he knows what to do with. And so and he's always been stupid, always. I mean, this guy's always been retarded. He's very stupid. He made it a point years ago to tell us how much he does not read. Like, I don't read books. I don't read them. I don't, yeah, I can tell, Kanye. You never read. You sound like you never read. You're very stupid. So yeah, he's an idiot, and I know people are amused by it. I'm not. I just look at it. I'm like, is if it were funny, fine, but it's not funny. It's just stupid, and I think he's deadly serious also in terms of at least he. It's not like he's just a one off. He's actually pro Hitler. He's pro racism, pro black KKK. I don't know. I'm just gonna try to find something, that quote that he had. I can't do it with my old. Unfortunately, I can't do it with my old YouTube. Sorry, Facebook. That's where I had this quote, because I can't access my Facebook account, which is terrible timing. Because I would have loved to have, at least asked my 12,000 followers if they could back Pigman. I can't do that now. That's unfortunate. But he said, "Yeah, I don't read." Yeah, I know, Kanye. We can tell. You're very stupid. Very stupid. So yeah, he's just a waste. Um, and he thinks he's immune from any kind of repercussions because, like, I'm a billionaire. So, well, no one wants to associate with him, rightfully so. He has swastika T-shirts that he sells on his store. What does that mean? I don't know. Um, but his kind of thinking, and him and Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, it's not. They're trying to, in their own way, if they're being casual about their Jew hatred, you know, that kind of thinking is what led to the the Holocaust. That kind of acceptance of this evil. Now, well, Jews are bad, and then, like, you won't feel that bad with what happens to them. Meaning, if they're bad and if they're monsters, then you can treat them like any way you want, and that kind of thing. And that's what's being pushed on X. I'm not accusing Elon of being involved with that at all. People also tell him, "Hey, why do you have this on your site?" It's like he's not in control of it, guys. He doesn't have to like everything on his thing, but that's free speech. We can know people through that. It's important. I want to know where these rats are, where they stand. Happy's Funhouse says, "Have you read any new comic releases? Just finished issue 1 of Out of Alcatraz and Underneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees." I don't know what those are. X Wolverine Revenge with Greg Capullo. I got it. I didn't read it yet, but I like Capullo's art. I will more or less get anything he does. So that I have not been able to get Conan because the great artist Roberto Del Toro has not been drawing it regularly. I think he's coming back. I hope he is on some kind of run. But we'll see. So that's, yeah. Out of Alcatraz. What's that? Happy's Funhouse? Happy's Funhouse says, "Do you think you'll include some of the criticisms you have of Hitler's butt buddies in any of the Pigman issues? I can see Pigman having complicated feelings on the matter." Complicated feelings on the matter. I don't think he would have complicated feelings on the matter. What does that mean? You tell me, Happy's Funhouse. I think he'd have similar to what I have. He was raised Muslim, raised to hate Jews. I might have been there because, again, I can have a number of things also dealing with Muhammad cartoons and so on, and drawing Muhammad and what comes from that. So it'll be interesting. Happy's Funhouse, you should totally include that Kanye drawing auction. I think so. It's on my stack there. I think it's a good drawing. I think it's funny, and it also does put him in his place. That's where he belongs. That's where he's relegated himself to. He's not his own man. He's not his own thinker. He is Hitler's bitch. And where does Hitler's bitch belong? Right underneath his nose. Thanks, Travis. Brilliant depiction of Kanye. Thanks. Happy's Fun says, I'm really scared of what Kanye might influence some of his nutty fans to do. What you said about the normalization of anti-Semitism is so true and so horrific. It is. But I want you to expand on what you said here in terms of why I can see Pigman having complicated feelings on the matter. If you can explain that, because again, my reference point is me when it comes to Pigman in terms of, what I was taught to hate for no reason, irrational reason, to hate the Jews. And there was never any reason to. No reason given. And that's where that kind of hate. And again, also notice, guys, that Jew haters hate being called Jew haters. They hate it. They actually hate it. It's comical to me. At least, have some conviction, right? Hate Jews, cop to it. But they don't. Because there's still a part of them. There's still a part of them knows that it's dirty, knows that something dishonest about it, something wrong about it. So they can't rah-rah it. Yeah, guys. So yeah, if you just follow up on what you mean about Pigman possibly having complicated feelings on that, and then I'm gonna get going. But thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. No thanks to the two rats on here who I wasn't able to ban one of them. I was able to ban only one of them. I guess I can do it on YouTube. Because guys, you think you're being edgy, guys? Let me tell you something about you Jew haters out there. It's so old. It's so ancient. You're doing nothing new. You're just animals. I mean, really, you're just animals regurgitating this ancient hatred. There's nothing edgy about it. Millions and millions of people hate Jews. Millions of Muslims. A billion Muslims, quote unquote, if there are any. If there are a billion. I know they like to talk up the numbers, but so you're not standing on your own. You're among many savages in this hatred. It's embarrassing. And again, you want to criticize Israel, you want to criticize individual Jews? Absolutely, I do. But you guys hate Jews, all Jews. And you create false reasons to rationalize your irrational hatred. And it has to be shot down. I mean, you guys got to be kicked out of the right because you don't belong anywhere. You're on the left anyway. You're just here to fuck shit up. That's what you're here for. You guys are nihilists, flat out nihilists, nothing less. Okay, so Happy's Fun House, he follows up. I can see Pigman feeling complicated about the butt buddies because they are just like the Islam defenders, like on the same aisle but different teams, I mean, that's the thing, though. Are they on different teams? I mean, Ian Carroll, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, they blow Muslims. How much different is that? What team are they on? They have zero to say about Islam. They actually praise Islam. Tucker Carlson finds himself in Islamic countries doing speeches. Why? Why, Mr. America First? Why? So they're on the same side, and same team in a lot of ways. They are. Not much difference. Happy's Fun House says, I can totally see Pigman hating them on a similar level as jihadist supporters. Sure, they're irrational, they're dangerous, and they're also undermining the side that they claim to be on. They self-identify on the right. Like leftists self-identify as being men, women, all that bullshit. These guys, Ian Carroll, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, they self-identify on the right. They're on the left. They're on the left. They are collectivists. They hate capitalism. The first sign of trouble for me with Tucker Carlson years ago was when he trashed capitalism. Like, okay, I got to watch this guy. Something's wrong with him. What's your alternative? What is it? You know, who trashes capitalism? Commies. Why is this right winger trashing capitalism? Why? And also, for what reason? Travis says, I got to catch some Z's later, chat. Later, Travis. Thanks, Beaner. Appreciate it. Good commentary, good questions. I do appreciate the give and take. Happy fun else. Appreciate the discussion, Bosch. Have a nice night. You guys too, man. Thanks, Beaner, guys. Always appreciate it. It's been almost 2 hours. Wow. Okay. That's crazy to me. It was pretty much up in the air. But thanks, Beaner, guys. I do appreciate it, guys. You guys take care. Be well.